Hello dear students, I Pooja Madam, your computer teacher from DAV Moyle Public School, welcome you all in the e-classes of Information Technology for Standard 10. So, how are you all of you? I hope all of you are doing good. So, today we are going to start our new topic Employment Skill Part 1. Before starting the session, let us have a view of the syllabus. Our syllabus of 10th Standard Employability Skill Part 1 include Unit 1 Communication Skill, which we will try to complete in the duration of 13 minutes, and then Unit 2 Self-Management Skill Part 2. Third unit is Basic ICT Skill. Fourth unit is Entrepreneurship Skill. And last is Green Skill. So students, we will try to cover all the chapters together within the period of 50 periods. So, in the first session of Communication Skill, today we will try to learn demonstrative knowledge of various methods of communication. Various methods of communication will include verbal, non-verbal and visual communication. And after the completion of this topic, we will write some pros and cons of writing verbal and non-verbal communication, listening, do's and don'ts for avoiding common body languages mistake. So dear students, let us start with the topic of communication. As you can see in this image, what can you see? Yes, you can see some people are sitting together and they are communicating. They are trying to exchange their views. Here in the next image, you can see a mother is trying to communicate her affection to a child, but they are not exchanging any of the words. In next communication, here a person wants to communicate with so many people at a time. I hope we also come in such a type of situation in our daily life. We also come to know and we come to talk to each other and try to share our point of views. So this is nothing but called as communication. The word communication came from the Latin word communicare, which means to share. Yes, absolutely right. We are here to learn about communication. That means we are here to learn how to share our views. So, what is the meaning of communication? Communication skills are those skills which are needed to speak and write properly. A person who is able to speak appropriately while maintaining eye contact with the audience uses varied vocabulary and attribute speech to suit the need of the audience is generally said to be an effective speaker. Similarly, an effective writer should be able to use written words in various type and technique to communicate his or her messages and ideas to the reader. So dear students, now tell me, what are the different types of communication? The communication are basically of two types. The communication which is based on channel and the communication which is based on purpose. In this chapter, we are going to learn the types of communication which are based on the channel, that are verbal communication, non-verbal communication, oral communication and written communication. So dear students, now you got the meaning of communication? Yes, the communication means being able to tell other people what do you want to say, and this can be done in many ways. And some different ways of communication are speaking, writing, visual and body language. So, what are the different type of communication we are going to learn today? Are verbal communication, non-verbal communication, oral and written. You can see the oral also include face to face and distance. Now we will learn about the different types of communication. So, what do you mean by verbal communication? This is a communication orally. Non-verbal form, that is communicating using body language, gesture, tone and pitch. And writing forms are some communication via handwriting and printing information. Visual forms, that is informative via picture, logos, posters, maps or chart. So students, can you see there are different type of communication? So now let us play a game. Select amongst them which are verbal, non-verbal, written or visual. Yes? Can anybody try? This is absolutely correct. It is a visual form. It is a written form of communication. This is written form of communication. This is verbal form of communication. What is this? This is verbal or non-verbal? Yes, absolutely correct. A non-verbal which includes no words, or it can also be included in the visual form which includes some pictures, logos, posters, maps or chart. This is verbal communication. This is also a type of verbal form, and in this way we will be able to understand the difference between different forms of communication. Before starting the different type of communication, students, let me tell you what are the importance of communication. Why do we need to exchange our view? Yes, we will need to exchange our view to share and to inform somebody. You may be required to give some facts or information to someone. For example, communicating the timetable of an exam. Another importance of communication is influence. That is, you want to influence somebody with your thoughts and your point of views. You may be required to influence or change someone in a indirect but usually important way. For example, negotiation with the spoker to reduce the price of the or to reduce the price of some product. Next, importance of communication is express our feelings. Means that talking about your feelings is a healthy way to express them. For example, sharing your excitement about doing well in your examination or sharing your feelings with your parents and friends. So what are the three importance of communication. The first is inform, the second is influence, the third is express feeling. Very nice. So now let us learn some elements of communication. Elements means what are the needed things which are necessary for the communication. That are, communication is a two-way exchange of information, giving and receiving. Speaking and writing to someone are example of giving information. Reading and listening to someone are example of receiving information. Here in this picture, can you see that the sender is sending a message and the receiver have received the message, and then he is sending a feedback. So the sender can send the message verbally in the form of sentence or in the form of written paper, or receiver can also send the feedback in the form of speech or in the form of written words. Dear students, is it possible to exchange our views without thinking a while? No, not at all. So before expressing our thoughts, what should be the process? First of all, we plan, and then we do, and then we check what we want to do, and then we react. It is the process of management. So communication is also a part of management, in which we have to plan, then do, then check, and then act. These are nothing but the perspective of communication. Perspective are ideas, views, or fixed way of thinking. These sometimes affect our communication. For example, if you have a fixed idea that your teacher or father is strict, even when they are being friendly, you may think they are scolding you. In the same way, others may have some fixed about you which affects whatever you say to them. So, my dear students, there are certain factors which are necessary for communication. Few of the factors are language, visual perception, past experience, prejudiced feeling, environment, personal factor, culture, and these all are the factors which can affect the perspective in communication. Some of the effective ways of communication, something which are very necessary for effective communication are, first of all, we have to be very clear, and we have to be clear about our thoughts. Next is concise, means use simple words and say only what is needed. Next is concrete, means say exactly the word and phrases which you want to communicate. Fourth is correct. Be correct while talking. Your spelling, your language, and your grammar should be correct. Next is coherent. Your words should make sense and should be related to the main topic. Means that while speaking, we should not go out of the track. Next is complete. Your message should have all the needed information. And the next is courteous. Be respectful, friendly, and honest. So, dear students, this was all about the communication. In the next chapter, we will learn in detail about types of communication. Till then, let us recapitulate whatever we have learned in this session. We have learned about the introduction and meaning of communication. Skill. Now, next one, we have learned the importance of communication, that are inform, influence, express feeling. Then after that, we have learned about elements of communication and perspective of communication. Then we have learned about some factors affecting perception in communication, which includes language, which can affect our communication, visual perception, past experience, prejudice, feeling, environment, personal factors, and culture. Dear students, in next session we will also learn each of the factors in detail. After completion of factors, we have learned effective communication, that is clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. These are nothing but the 7 C's of effective communication. So, dear students, I hope you have enjoyed the session, and with the closing of our session with a good thought, that is, good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. So, now with the help of this thought, you will be able to understand what is the importance of a good communication. So, till then, thank you and take care.